Hey guys, it's the WalterFootball.com After Dark Show for May 15, 2025. We're going to be breaking down the Week 1 NFL schedule. We're going to be guessing the lines for these games and then looking at them. I've only looked at one so far, so it was the Cowboys-Eagles one because it was out. That game was announced a few days ago, and I just happened to see it. But the other games, I have not looked at it yet, so we're going to guess the lines for, I'd say for entertainment purposes only for our co-host here. But before we intro him and get into the Week 1 line predictions, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, I'm wearing something from the merch store, one of my fanciest shirts. It's the navy blue Walter Football t-shirt. Very fancy. It's part of our winter, our pristine winter collection. And you can go on our merch store here. You can get a bunch of shirts. You can change the colors. That's, or you might be like, where's this like really fancy navy blue shirt? You can actually go in and change them all to navy blue. It doesn't have to be the regular one. It could be January 7th Envy month, and you can change it to navy blue. Or P2P, you can change it to navy blue. It all works. So please consider buying this. We don't have a sale right now, so you might want to wait until there's like a 20% off sale. They come and go. But I mean, if you really want to help us out, like that would be great. Also, you can go to Amazon, buy my books. The most recent one is Jerks of the College Years, where I made fun of people. I saw Penn State for 6 years, so I had a lot of fun writing it. I think you guys have a lot of fun reading it. And also, please consider super chats, super stickers. That's the best way to support the show. We had some good ones recently from Slew, John Sanders, Degeneron in the past. I Can't Make an Eagle, Armac, Karmic, The Boss. You guys have been so great with your contributions. I just can't say that enough because YouTube ads pay nothing. I say that all the time and I mean it. Like we get lucky if we get $1, which with inflation is pretty bad. Imagine pre-inflation, it would be like 20 cents. So if you guys really want to help us out, that is the best way to do it. So we are joined by Kenny, thecapIsFake.com. Kenny, how's it going?
Oh, bro, life is grand. Trying to make the world a better place. All the things.
Oh, the things. How's that going? How's making the world a better place going? Are you succeeding?
No, I think it's worse actually, day by day.
Worse. I'm making the world a worse place. Hopefully that turns around.
I'm attempting to make it better. I'm just really bad at it. So,
well, then maybe you should make it a worse place. And if you're bad at that, then you make it a better place by accident.
I found myself I'd probably be good at that, and then it just spirals. So at least if I try to make it better and I fail, I'm making it worse but slower than if I was good at making it worse.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, well, we'll try to make the NFL world a better place by making these predictions for the Week 1 lines. Like I said, I only saw the Cowboys Eagles. Did you see the Cowboys Eagles line?
I did not.
Okay, well, let's do that first, and then we'll do all the other ones, and then reveal the lines here, because I saw it. So I'm not going to. I'm going to have you guess first at this because, like I said, I saw it. So what do you think? Cowboys at Eagles, the opening Thursday night game. Kind of surprised, by the way. I thought it would be Redskins at Eagles or Lions at Eagles, but it turned out to be Cowboys. So what do you make this line?
Yeah, I thought the Cowboys was kind of a weak open. Okay. Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, I mean, Cowboys have they have Pickens now, healthy early in the season. This is probably the best. Yeah, I would say Cowboys. Maybe Cowboys minus. Let's say minus 4.5.
You mean Cowboys plus 4.5, right?
Oh, sorry, Cowboys plus 4.5. Right. Sorry.
Okay. So I have none. You say Eagles 4.5. So I'll put that down here. The line is Eagles -7. So they're giving the whole touchdown. Yeah.
Oh, what? Really? That seems like a very large line for a Week 1 game.
You think so? Matthias said Eagles -5.5, so he's in the same neighborhood as you. Chase says I think the Eagles should be favored by 8 or so. I would agree. I don't have any respect for Dallas. I think Dallas kind of sucks. They have a great pass rush, but the Eagles have the tackles to nullify it. They have severe issues defensively. They struggle against the run. I question their offensive line. I question Pickens really. I mean, he's talented, but I don't know if he's going to like transition right away. It seems like a major head case. They have no running game. I think the Eagles should be able to win pretty easily. The Eagles usually take care of business against Dallas at home. Plus, it's going to be like pretty emotional, like first game. So I like the Eagles here at -7. Once you get past 7, you lose all the key numbers, but at least you get the -7. FanDuel actually has -6.5, -120 for the Eagles. So 7 is a key number, but I don't think I'd pay minus 120 for a 7. I'd pay minus 115, but not minus 120.
Yeah. 7 feels like a lot to me. Because both teams are healthy. I thought the Cowboys were a decent team last year when they were fully healthy, even though they had no running game. Now they've added some running backs, maybe not good ones. I don't know. The Eagles coming off a long long run. We've seen that before. I don't know. We've seen the Chiefs struggle early in the last few years after winning Super Bowls. I guess I'm a little bit surprised. In my mind, the gap between the Eagles and the Cowboys is not as wide as obviously what the odd makers think.
So I group all the teams into groups. Like I have Group A is the elite teams, Group B is good teams, Group C average, Group D bad, Group F the worst. I have Dallas in Group C and I have the Eagles in Group A. So that would mean like I think at that point like 7, 7.5, 8 is correct for the home team there. Like a Group A hosting Group C. If Dallas are Group B, and maybe it sounds like you think they would be a Group B team, like a good team. I really. What was that?
B minus team.
B minus. Well, I don't have any minus pluses, but I mean the B minus is still B range. So in that case, I can see where you're coming from. I think this team has too many holes and they're poorly coached, as Chase points out here. Keep in mind the huge coaching edge in the Eagles' favor. The one thing that the Eagles won't have is their offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore is gone. He's with the Saints, but it's only one coordinator. It's not two like they had in 2023. So I think they'll be okay. I have like no respect for Brian Schottenheimer. He was fired like four times an offensive coordinator, so he kind of sucks. But yeah. So we had some comments here before he gets to the other guesses. Some Papa Smurf says is guessing Patriots minus 3.5. Brandon says Texans going 13-4. I have not looked at their full schedule yet. The only schedule I looked at fully was the Jets because I was on the Play Like a Jet podcast. I predicted them to go 5-12 for what it's worth. John says Bills go 16-1, Chiefs go 17-0, second seed again. that would be absolutely brutal. Yeah. And then Sue asking, does Kenny know how many a Red Lobster dozen is? My guess is he doesn't because that means you didn't read Jerks of the Week because I had no idea. How many in Red Lobster? What is a dozen of fried shrimp? How many fried shrimp is a dozen?
Is it 13?
No, that's a baker's dozen. A Red Lobster's dozen is 9 because I was trying to order.
What?
I was trying to order Walt's favorite fried shrimp, which is a dozen. So they have a dozen. Real quick, they have a dozen, and then they have the option for 6 more. And I was talking to the waitress. I'm like, like cut the 6 more, and she was like, so you want 15? I'm like, 15? She's like, yeah, 9 plus 6. I'm like, wait a second. Wait, where'd you get the 9 from? It's a dozen. It says a dozen on the page. Where'd you get the 9 from? And then I was like, no, can I just have a dozen? And she's like, okay. And then she brought me 9. It's like, this person an idiot. Like, that was in Jerks of the Week. So it was an interesting trip to the restaurant. My son threw up on the table, by the way. Yeah, exactly. And then I fed him chocolate cake, which like my wife was like, he threw up, he fed him chocolate cake, but he felt great afterwards. So maybe that's the secret to stomach viruses. Chase says, keep in mind, yeah, okay, we read that one. Okay, so we're done through all the comments, and now we can do our guesses for the week 1 lines. So we have a Friday night game, and the Eagles the Eagles quote unquote hosted this last year when they played against the Packers in Brazil. It was kind of like NFL on ice because like the field's so slippery. So hopefully they resolve it. It's so bad. Chiefs at quote unquote at the Chargers in Brazil. Let's take turns guessing these. So you guessed last time, so I'll guess first this time. I think the Chiefs will be, obviously they'll be favored. They're the perceived to be one of the best teams in the AFC, and I think they are. I think they're. I think Bills, Chiefs, and Ravens in some order are the 3 best teams in the AFC, and I think there's a big gap after that. I think lines are usually like lower than you would expect in week 1, despite what we saw with the Eagles game. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna actually say what you said with the line. I'm gonna say Chiefs minus 4.5. So what do you think about this line? What do you think? Chiefs at? Actually, no. Sorry. I thought this was a real game. I would say Chiefs minus 5.5. Well, what would you say for this?
I was gonna say 4.5 as well for this game. Actually, I think that's about right.
Okay, Chiefs minus. So I said -5.5. You said -4.5. Yeah, I forgot. Like, even though I said it was a Brazil game for a second, I was like at Chargers. It's kind of tricky. So Chiefs are favored by 2, apparently, according to Chase. So we are way off. That's less than a touchdown. I don't know. I guess Matthias is guessing what you guessed. Chief Chargers +4.5. John guessed -3.5, so it's kind of like the same range. Baggins says, I'm not thinking about betting any Chiefs lines until we figure out whether Rice is suspended. Yeah, it's true. Plus,
fair.
the Chiefs are not great in the regular season, but this is, I think, a special case. You have Andy Reid with lots of time to prepare, which we know is a great thing. Andy Reid is always great in these. There are a handful of coaches. I'd say Andy Reid, Bill Belichick's not in the NFL anymore, but him, Sean McVay, actually Matt LaFleur has done really well. Like when teams have a lot of time to prepare for games, like these coaches, these elite coaches do really well. And Andy Reid has a phenomenal Week 1 record against the spread. So if it's Chiefs -2, and we'll look at the lines officially on FanDuel after this, like I can't imagine not betting the Chiefs, right? I mean, for entertainment purposes, of course.
In a kind of in Week 1, on a neutral international field.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's just Chiefs -2, that's like a 4-unit bet. Like, what? Am I missing something?
I don't get it. As long as it's under 3. I mean, like 3 is the ultimate key number in the NFL. That is bizarre to me.
That is very bizarre to me.
Well, again, maybe Chase is lying to us, and it's not -2. But like I said, we'll look at the lines officially. Maybe FanDuel has a different. All right, so the next game, and you will guess first this time. Dolphins at the Colts. So this is regular Sunday 1:00 football.
Oh, I think the Colts suck. Particularly if Anthony Richardson is a quarterback, and the Dolphins. They made some okay tweaks to the roster. They're coming back healthy. I think the Dolphins are the better team here, not by a lot, maybe Dolphins -1.5.
Interesting. I guessed Colts -2. So I'll write down Indy -2, and you said
either the Colts going to be favored in this game.
Yes, and you said Dolphins -1.5. Now you said you think the Colts suck. I think the Dolphins suck. Their cornerbacks are Storm Duck and Cam Smith. One of their starting safeties is Ashton Davis. They don't have a full defensive line. They drafted Kenneth Grant. We'll have to see. This is his first game. The only they have one proven defensive lineman. Their left tackle retired. Tyreek Hill could be in jail. Tua, who knows with him? He could be concussed in training camp. And as we saw Mike McDaniel last year, he was just flabbergasted by when Tua left. Like, he just didn't know what to do. And their backup quarterback, Zach Wilson. So I Dolphins under 8.5 wins is the biggest win total bet I've made so far this year. I think they are terrible. Now the Colts at least have Jonathan Taylor, and given how bad Miami's defensive line is, I feel like Taylor can run all over them. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what the spread is. You might be right. Maybe I'm just giving the Colts too much credit. Not that I like them or anything, but I just think that the Dolphins are awful, and I think they have a chance to have the worst record in the NFL this year if Tua gets hurt early. And then John's saying the truth. They both suck pretty equally, yes. Bagger says this is the Go Girl game to end all girl games. Yeah, shout out to Jacob. Unfortunately, he can't come on the show anymore. But yeah, that's what he would say, I think. Chase says, I think the Colts at Dolphins is a toss-up game. And Dolphins. RIP Jacob, formerly from the Sporting News. Well, he didn't die. he's at USA Today. He can't come on the show because he works for USA Today. They have a policy saying that their writers can't come on other shows, unfortunately. So as long as he's working there, he won't be able to come on. So I want to say hopefully he'll be on at some time, but that means he won't be working there. So hopefully he'll be on in the long distant future, but no, not anytime soon. Same as Steph. USA Today. Same as Steph. Once upon a time wrote some articles for USA Today, so maybe they're not that bad. All right, so the next game is Steelers at Jets. So I'm guessing first for this one. I'm going to say I'm going to say Steelers -2.5. I don't think they give them the full 3. And this is assuming that that Aaron Rodgers is there. I assume that they're going to either trade for Aaron or sign Aaron Rodgers or trade for Kirk Cousins. So what do you think Steelers at Jets is?
Do you think? Aside note, do you really think they're going to sign Aaron Rodgers?
Oh yeah,
I don't think that's reality. Do you?
Oh yeah, I think it's likely to happen. I think he's been waiting. I don't think he wants to do these stupid mini camps. And I think he also was looking to see if they were going to draft Shedeur Sanders at 21 because Kirk Cousins signed with the Falcons and they screwed him by drafting Michael Penix Jr. at 8. I think that Rodgers is kind of be like, well, let's see if you do what Atlanta did, So I think that was part of that.
Yeah, I think if Rodgers is there, then I think it's like, yeah, I think that probably gives them a little, a boost at quarterback, and that gives them, it makes them a 3.5 point favorite in this game. Without Rodgers, it's close to toss up because I think that offense will be totally anemic with the current quarterback. I mean, Mason Rudolph might as well put your sister out there. I think just as effective.
Well, Mason Rudolph did get the team to the playoffs 2 years ago, so I don't know. I mean, as great as my sister could be at football, I mean, I don't know. I think Mason Rudolph might be a little bit better. So you said 3 or 3.5. You said 3 or 3.5. Which one is it? Because I have to write something down.
Oh, okay. Let's say 3.5.
3.5. All right. So maybe we'll split the difference with that one. See some comments before we get to the next game. Baggy says the public doesn't know how awful the Dolphins are. It's true because they have so many big name fantasy players. Yeah, Cincinnati's the same way. They had member berries from the first half of 2023 season when Tua lit the league on fire. Remember Tua? I remember Tua. Baggy says the same reason the Falcons and Chargers used to be so heavily overrated years ago. Yeah, it's great point by Bagley. John says Aaron Rodgers revenge game. Yeah, completely. Yeah. It's Aaron Rodgers to be out for blood in this game. Steelers -3. If I was guessing Jets -2.5, I assume he thinks that Rodgers is not going to be there. And John says, I wonder if the Steelers can game plan effectively against Justin Fields. I think so. I think they're a little familiar with him. All right, so the next game is a real bar burner. Maybe this is the Go Girl game. Panthers at Jaguars. What do you think this line is?
Panthers are terrible, but not as bad as people think. I think this could be a moneymaker for for Vegas. This like get people in and maybe ups. I would say Vegas is going to set this line at like Panthers plus. See, if they do +3, they're just going to they're going to do like Panthers +2.5 because they're going to want to get a bunch. That'll get a lot of action on the Jaguars, and then I bet the Panthers just win this game outright.
Interesting.
I think they'll set it at +2.5, and this will be a moneymaker for Vegas week 1. I just said this has a classic moneymaker sense to it.
Okay, my guess is Jaguars -3.5. So I'm on the other side of 3 there. So you have Jaguars -2.5. I am down on the Panthers. I don't like what they have at all. And I think people remember what they did last year. Speaking of member berries, they had 3 great games at the end of last year. They almost beat the Chiefs. They almost beat the Eagles when Leggett dropped that touchdown. And then they almost beat the Buccaneers when Chuba Hubbard fumbled in overtime. I think people remember that. And they're like, oh, Panthers aren't that bad. I've heard that from so many people. The Eagles, Chiefs, and Buccaneers did not focus at all in that game. The Eagles gave their effort. Chiefs gave their effort, and the Chiefs are almost losing to everyone. They almost lost to the Raiders on Black Friday. And then the Buccaneers, we know they gave their effort because Baker Mayfield said it before the second game, like 3 weeks later or 2 weeks later. And then Tampa destroyed Carolina. Like it wasn't even close. It was like a 30-point win or 25-point win or something. And then we saw when teams were focused against Carolina late in the year, like Dallas destroyed them as well. So I am no fan of Bryce Young. I don't think he can't see over the line of scrimmage, which is an issue. Their defense was the worst in the NFL last year. I think Cincinnati might be worse this year, but I think Carolina's, at best 28th best defense this year. I think they're still bottom 5. So I don't know how they stop the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence having Travis Hunter in addition to Brian Thomas Jr. Lawrence is going to be healthy. We haven't seen Lawrence completely healthy in 2 years. since like the Jaguars were 8-3 in 2023 and they fell apart because he got hurt. Like he's finally gonna be healthy now. He's gonna have a better coach than Liam Cohen. I think the Jaguars are very underrated here, and if it's 3 or less, I'm going to be betting them. 3.5 is kind of rough because you don't get the key number, but we'll see. We'll see what the spread is.
Yeah, I think this is. See, Vegas just sucked you in, bro. They pulled you in.
Maybe you're right. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Panthers. John is guessing Jaguars -4, so we're pretty close there. Levine says you can make any argument. I'll agree. I wouldn't touch this. Both teams can win by 14. Wouldn't surprise me. Jaguars -2. I'd be surprised if the Panthers won by 14. Like even in the games they played well at the end of last year, like they still lost those games. They still lost all 3 of those games, even though people are like, oh wow, they're playing so well. They lost all of them. So I don't know. Chase's Carolina did have the flu in the second game. To be fair, that's true. That's true. But Baker Mayfield did say that they were not focused at all. Like they gave a better effort. Baggett says NFL needs more regular holiday teams. Lions and Cowboys on Thanksgiving, Chiefs on Christmas, Raiders on Black Friday, and Bills on September 11th. Yeah, I like that. I like that last one. You got me there. That's going. Okay, so Cardinals at Saints is next. And this is kind of sad that Derek Carr retired because I think it kind of like exposed to people how bad the Saints are. Whereas like we kind of knew ahead of time. Like I've been betting the Saints under win total like the past couple of years and winning. And so like we finally won't be able to do that because their number is so low because the quarterback's going to be either Tyler Shuck or Spencer the Silver Snake Rattler. I think the Cardinals and the Saints are so bad. I don't know if they can make them a favorite. I think the Cardinals will be favored, but I don't think they're going to be -3. I don't think you could quite make them -3. So I'm going to say Cardinals -2.5. So where are you on this?
I was going to say Cardinals -3, but it's hard to know what with the quarterback situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think, as you said, I think this team is bad. I think they're going to be running in the first pick, and now with their current salary cap situation. Or salary money situation, I think they're incentivized to just tank and let Arch Manning try to get Arch Manning in there.
It's grandfather's team. I don't like. I talked to like some Texas Longhorn fans, and they're like adamant that Arch Manning won't come out no matter what after the 2025 season for the 2026 NFL draft. And I'm like. It's a tough call because, on one hand, he'll only have 1 year of starting experience. But on the other hand, like, if he can go to his grandfather's team, like, I think that would be enough to get him out. And, like, what if he comes back to school and the Browns have the number 1 pick in 2027? Like, do you want to go to the Browns? Why not just go to a team you want to go to? So I don't know. I think that if like the Giants had the top pick or the Saints or the Colts, because you can go to his uncle's teams or his grandfather's team. Like I think that would be appealing to him and also his family. But if it's like the Browns, then he'll just go back to school. Like poor Cleveland. Matthijsen guessing Arizona -5.5. Wow, that's a big number. We'll see if you're right, Matthijsen. I think week one lines are usually tempered, but and maybe you're right. Maybe they're way down on the Saints. We'll see.
That's why I was so surprised that the Eagles line was 7 because the week 1 lines usually are tempered.
Well, they're the Super Bowl winner. I think that's a special case. But generally, I mean, like last year, even though they didn't cover, the Bengals were only -7 against the Patriots, and like the Patriots were like they were the laughing stock of the preseason because like, they had that one preseason game where they had like 8 false starts in like the first half alone. Like they like everyone was making fun of how bad they were. And they were starting Jacoby Brissett. And Cincinnati is always everyone's darling. Like I thought the line was gonna be like 10, and it was only 7. So, like you always see like shortened lines in week 1, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing what the lines are. John says, Cardinals by 1.5. Matthijsen says, I have no faith in the Saints, but that's me. Yeah, I don't have any faith. I don't know if anyone has any faith. Even like Spencer Rattler's family, probably like this team sucks. We're not gonna watch our son this year. All right, so the next game, you're guessing first here, Giants at the Redskins. So what do you make this line?
I could foresee the public. I'm trying to think it through. I mean, I think the Giants suck, but maybe they've got a rookie quarterback that can come in and be a little bit better than expected. They did make a few tweaks to the roster that people seem to like. There was some injury. Like I could see people overhyping the Redskins and Vegas wanting to bait people into taking the Redskins. And so I think this line will be like what would be the line that would make people like jump all over the Giants? Like +8, right?
Okay.
Like I think people will I think it'll be like Giants +8 and then like the Giants keep it close enough or get a backdoor cover and this is another moneymaker for Vegas. Giants +8.
Okay.
I would be on the Giants in that case.
Listening to you, I think you could be right. I made it 6.5. I wrote that down. Like, it kind of reminds me of like we saw this similar line a couple years ago. It was week 1. It was Steelers at Bills, and the Bills were like -6.5. And this was like Buffalo getting so much hype. The early Josh Allen years, like this third year, I think. And it's kind of the same thing. Like Jane Daniels' second year, like they're getting a lot of hype, and like the Steelers end up winning that game. Now the Steelers are very well coached, whereas the Giants are not. So that's the big difference here. And I don't know. I think we'll see what the line is. I think I would still be on the Redskins, but I don't see myself betting that game just because it's week 1. A lot of weird stuff happens week 1. Like these favorites generally don't do all that well because they don't play in the preseason. If they play in the preseason still, right. I think it'd be different. But a lot of these teams are not going to play, and like they could be discombobulated. Like again, we saw the Bengals last year. They lost to the Patriots in week 1. Like it was one of the most bizarre results. Even though they like loafed in that game, like, it still should have won. And they didn't. They lost a very ugly game. So it could be the same thing here. And if the Redskins lose week 1, I would love to bet them week 2. I don't know if they're playing week 2, but that'll be a great number, I think. But we'll see. I think the more I think about it, the more I think you could be right. Although John says Skins -6.5, which is what I said. Matthias also says Skins -6.5. So they're on my side here. John says this might be the survivor pool favorite. Yeah, like last year, everyone loved the Bengals and they lost. But again, the Bengals were a complete no-show. I kind of actually wonder what the Redskins week 2 opponent is. So let me just look real fast. So it's the Packers. So it's okay. All right, this is different. Packers on Thursday night. So that's a look ahead for sure. So I would not play the Redskins in Survivor. They could get tripped up here. It's a divisional game. They are the better team clearly, but so are the Bengals last year. The Bengals are looking ahead. I think the Redskins could be looking ahead. So Vegas has never taken a divisional game in Survivor pool. Never, ever, ever. Yes, I think I mostly agree. Sometimes like once in a while you can. If it's like so lopsided, like last year. Right. Last year, remember the Browns against the Ravens in Week 18, whereas like the Browns had a like completely non-competitive roster and they lost by like 25 points. Like right. if it's that sort of situation, I think you can. But if these teams have normal rosters, then I think that you should probably avoid them. Although Week 18 is all divisional matchups, so it's not like you could have avoided it. Chase said, "Yeah, I got burned by the Bengals. Everyone got burned by the Bengals last year. I had 2 Survivor pools in $100 entries, and I foolishly was like, Bengals are not going to lose. We'll be different in later weeks." And I was like, it's like, yeah, just lost right away. Bengals are on the road. No, the Bengals are at home. Bengals are at home in that game. I'm like almost confident. I'm gonna look it up. Bengals Patriots. No, it was 2024. Yeah, it was Patriots at Bengals. Patriots won 16-10. They were up 10-0 at halftime. Yeah, it was at Cincinnati. They play Thursday night. Yeah, exactly. They play Thursday night. Well, we're jumping ahead here. So let's go to the next one. You guessed first on Giants Redskins, so I'll guess Buccaneers at Falcons, which I would assume is going to help decide that division. I think clearly those 2 teams are the best teams in the division. I like Atlanta a little bit better, which is it was nice to see Atlanta is kind of like a kind of sizable underdog. I think they're from memory. I think they're like plus 220 or 230 to win the division, which I think it's a coin flip. So I'm interested in that. But given that there is a public sentiment that Tampa is better than Atlanta for some reason, I think that this will be closer to pick 'em. I think though Atlanta will be favored. I will say Atlanta -1 for me. What do you think the spread is going to be?
Yeah, I agree with almost everything you just said until in the end there. I'm like, oh yeah, I think the public sentiment is that Tampa is a little bit better. And I think I agree that Tampa's a little bit better. I think Falcons have more upside, depending on what Penix and Bijan Robinson could do. And I think there's more upside on the defense as well. I think starting day one, Bucks are slightly better. I say I think Vegas will make this Tampa -1.
Okay. Well, we're pretty close. We're on the other side of Pick'em, but and we did have that guess from Matthias and Buccaneers -2. John says Atlanta got more primetime games than the Ravens. That's crazy. I didn't, I actually got a question when I was on the Play Like a Jet podcast. Like Scott Mason, who's been on the show a few times, he asked me like, what primetime games you're looking forward to. I'm like, I don't really care. I'll watch anything. Like I'll watch Saints Browns. I really doesn't matter to me as long as
let's be honest. You're the same guy that watches, the CFL Saskatchewan Roughriders. So,
well, hold on here. I made one bet in the CFL last year, and it was a pro tip from a gambling syndicate that was all over. I can't remember. I think it was Toronto versus Montreal, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I could be wrong here. And this gambling syndicate, they had a lot of money on one side. I think it was like, I want to say it's like Montreal +2 or something. Or no, it was Montreal +1.5. I think. No. Okay, now I remember. It was Montreal minus 1.5. And so I bet Montreal -1.5. And this game, like Montreal had a touchdown lead twice in the fourth quarter, and Toronto came back. By the way, Toronto resting their starters. This is the final week of the regular season, CFL. And so this game went to overtime. And I'm like, okay, we kick a field goal, we're good, right? If we win, get a touchdown, I have a decent chance to win. CFL rules. They missed the field goal, but it hit the net. So it was a rouge. It was 1 point. Montreal wins on a rouge in overtime, 21-20, or 35-34, whatever it was. 35-34. I lose my bet -1.5 because of a rouge. Montreal won by 1. I'm like
a rouge?
Yes. If you hit if you kick the ball out of the back of the end zone, that's 1 point. It's called a rouge. Which is this like, okay, I don't understand why they do it, but can you at least not make it that you can win on a rouge in overtime? Like you just have like that rule, like you can't win you need to score like a real point. Like why do they have this rouge thing in the first place? I don't. It's like Canada's weird. Like I don't know. Their army rides on mooseback. Like okay, yeah, you can have weird things, but like at least have like some logical like decision making here to like not have games end on rouges. Can you imagine like the Super Bowl ending on a missed field goal? Like that, we missed a field goal, but we won because it went out of the back of the end zone. Rouge, we win.
Wait a minute. I don't. If you kick a field goal,
yes,
and it misses, but it still hits the net after it missed.
Yes, it's 1 point.
That you still get a point.
Yes, it's called a rouge.
No matter how far the distance of the field goal is.
Yes.
That's what I know. This is not a what I'm. Okay, obviously I don't know CFL football rules. Wait a minute, you miss a field goal. If you make it, what's the normal point? Is it 3 points normally?
3 points, yeah.
Okay, so if you miss it, you still get a third of the value.
It has to hit the net, though.
Okay, well, but most field goals are still going to hit the net, right? Aren't they? Like you miss
wide,
wide, left.
I guess so. I don't know. So stupid.
How far back is that? Okay, never mind. This go on. I don't understand.
Yeah, they have 3. You probably know this. They have 3 downs instead of 4 downs. So
right, and they have 12 men, right?
I'm not sure about that one. The field's a lot wider too.
Yeah, 55 yards.
No, that's longer, but it's also a lot wider too. So there's like a lot of room to run. That's why like mobile quarterbacks do well there. It's like they can get to the outside like pretty easily.
But they also have 12 men, not 11.
Yeah. It's Slew pointing out a punt into the end zone not returned is also a rouge. Yes, if you punt it out of the back of the end zone, that's also 1 point. And Bagger says the end zone are 10 yards deeper, so it's harder to reach. Yeah. It's harder. It's not like as easy to hit the net as it is in the NFL. It's a little harder.
The end zone is 20 yards.
It's 20 yards, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought Canadian politics was broken. Not even realizing football is just as broken.
Well, no wonder why the politics are broken, right? That's it's so stupid. I can't believe I lost the bet on a Rouge. It didn't even enter my mind. I was watching it on like the game track or whatever on CBS, and I saw like field goal missed. I'm like, okay, well maybe we'll get it next drive, and then like I saw like they win 35-34. I'm like, what? Hey, hold on a second. Like, and then I'm like, oh my god, it's a Rouge, isn't it? Because I heard of it before. I heard of Rouges before. So like, oh my god, I lost. I bet -1.5, and they won by 1 because of a Rouge. Like, can you like that's one of the worst beats ever for me. Like I didn't even publish it on the site. Like it was. I know a friend who knows his gambling syndicate. People they bet like thousands of dollars on this. They actually moved the line from. I said -1.5. They moved it all the way to -4. So like people got the closing line. They weren't even close. So that's how far they moved the line. But yeah, they were way off, and they bet Montreal because they knew Toronto was resting their starters before it was announced. So they had inside info. But yeah, I got Tom on it too, and like Tom lost. I felt bad. I don't know if Tom bet much on it, but I had a decent amount because I knew how much they were betting on it, and like yeah. So that's my CFL story of the night.
Wow,
stupid, so stupid. Anyway, we have some comments before we get to the next game. It says, okay, I think Falcons should be favored by 3. I think they should be favored by something close to that, but I think that people think that Tampa is going to be better than them a little bit. That's what the odds say for the division. John says, I want a Will Levis versus Jameis Winston game. We deserve it. Yeah, 100%. That would be so fun. Yeah, you still won't watch the Pro Bowl. Yeah, look, they don't try. The difference here, the Pro Bowls don't try. They don't try in that game. That's why I don't watch it. If they actually tried hard, I would watch it, but they don't. It's an exhibition game. Whereas like CFL, like despite the stupid rules, they actually try hard in that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the difference. Incorporating soccer is never a good thing. Never. Yes. So if you're tied with 1 second left, you have to hit that. Yeah, that's all you have to do. That's how they won in overtime. Yeah. Let's see. John says, do you have to carry 2 kickers then? One that's accurate, one that has a powerful leg? No, actually. You imagine like the CFL, like someone in the CFL is watching this and they see John's comment. They're like Sacre Bleu, I never realized we should do this strategy. And like, they're like, we just changed CFL forever just because of John's comment. Like they just didn't realize it until now. After time expires, there's one more untimed play. Is that true? Yeah, I didn't know that. But again, look, you can have your Rouges. Don't have the game decided on a Rouge. Like, that's maybe compromise. Anyway, so we did Buccaneers.
Way off target here.
I know. We did Buccaneers and Falcons. You were up first for Bengals at Browns, the Battle of Ohio.
Oh gosh. Let me. I would say. Wait a minute. I thought the Browns played the Vikings in week 1. No?
No. Look, Bengals at Browns. The Vikings play at Chicago on Monday night.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought that. Okay. Bengals, Browns. Let's say, oh gosh. Okay. The Browns are a disaster, but who knows? Like I don't know. They're such a mess. Bengals offense should be great again. Maybe their defense will be better. Maybe not. I don't know. The Bengals are. I have no clue how to handicap this game. Bengals -5. It just feels like I don't know what to make of these teams. It is in Cleveland. I don't know how much that matters with this team. But let's say Bengals -5.
I wrote down 6.5 for the Bengals. I don't like the Bengals at all. I think they're a disaster as well. But the Browns are more of a disaster, obviously. I'm going to try to avoid the Bengals at all costs this year, betting wise. I think they're so overrated. I think they're the most overrated team in the NFL. But again, Cleveland stinks. But I think that people are so down on the Browns, given their quarterback situation. Unless like Shador lights up the preseason, like I can't. I don't know. I think it won't be quite 7, but I think 6.5 feels right to me. But you could be right at 5. Again, we're going to look at this. Matthias bet says Bengals -3. That would be shocking if it's that low. I think it has to be over 3, maybe like 3.5 at the very least. John says -5.5. So he agrees with you mostly. Chase says Hendrickson might sit out for this game. That's true. Yeah, we don't know if he's going to play. Hendrickson just wrote a farewell letter to the fans. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like Myles Garrett also said he was leaving, and then he didn't. Like, we'll see. I mean, they might pay him, but then again, Cincinnati's owner is much cheaper, and you would know this from running your site. Cincinnati's owner is the worst in the NFL with this cheapness. So, yeah, here we go. Slew says I believe Burrow has a poor record in Cleveland. He does. He always plays poorly there. Something to remember for sure. Yeah. Okay, so I'm up here for Raiders at Patriots. This probably the good girl game here. So, the Raiders have Geno Smith now, and so and Ashton Jeanty. So like they aren't like the bottom of the barrel team that we're used to. Like with Pete Carroll there, I think they're going to be more competitive. The Patriots are still young. I think they're going to be better this year than they were last year, but. Like how much we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how Drake May develops. I think that it's gonna be tough to make the Raiders the road favorites. I could maybe see it, but I don't know. I would say Patriots -1. What do you think this line is?
Yeah, I was gonna say pick them just because it is in New England. But I think I would be on New England in that game. I really like Drake May. I really think he's gonna make a good step forward. I think Geno Smith sucks. And so, yeah, I like. My guesstimate is that it will be Pick'em. And in that case, I would be on the Patriots if I were a betting man, which I'm not, but if I were.
Yeah, this is for entertainment purposes only. Sue says Bengals almost always start 0-1. They always start 0-2. Like they are so bad. The record like in the first 2 weeks of the season is atrocious, and then they turn it on. So yeah, I mean that's also something to remember. I think if we get 6.5 or even 7, I would love Cleveland. As disgusting as that sounds, in week 1. I mean, look, the Patriots went into Cincinnati, won last year. Like the Browns could get them at home, and they've done that a lot. And as I said, I'm looking to fade the Bengals as much as possible. I think they're so overrated. Their defense might be the worst in the NFL. Their blocking sucks, and like. They're like 5 or 6 good players, and like that's it. Like Burrow, Chase, Higgins, Brown, a couple tackles, and Henderson, and their linebackers are fine. But like outside of that, like they've like 4 great players and like 4 good players, and that's it. Like they have nothing else. Just as tough one, Patriots -1. So we're all in agreement basically. Chase says the Raiders are the definition of mediocre. Yeah, I think they're going to be like Seattle now. Like Seattle always finishes like 7-10, 8-9, 9-8. Like I think the Raiders, given that they're in the tough division, like maybe they won't reach that. Like, but they won't be like a 4-win team again. They'll be like 6-11, 7-10. Like I think they'll be more competitive, but I don't see them making the playoffs. Matthias says Patriots -1.5. Okay. John says I've never seen a 5-way quarterback fight before. It's just like duel it out, like like in the older times. Just like that's how they decide it. Like the fans, I don't know, they might think that's entertaining. I guess says Bengals are locked for week 1 this year after barely missing the playoffs last year. Man, I don't know. I really don't like them at all. I think they are very mediocre at best. PD against Vrabel sounds like a 13-10 game. Yeah, with Vrabel involved, you have to have like a score that's like a war, like 18-12 or 16-14 or 17-16. Like it's always a war score for Vrabel. I feel like he's like a war, like a history buff with these results. Any chance at a Tom Brady revenge angle? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's not even gonna be at the game. He's gonna be announcing. I don't really see it. All right, so you are up next. Guessing first, right? Yeah, you are. And then you have 49ers at the Seahawks. So we move into the 4:00 slate here.
Yeah. The Seahawks are, I think most people are going to, Seahawks, the coaching staff still not trusted probably by most people. The new quarterback in town. They traded away, perennial Pro Bowler. Defense is suspect. I I think it's a good man. This is hard. It's hard to know what the Niners are going to be. With their receiver situation, is McCaffrey going to be healthy? Let's say 9. I think the Niners are the better team. The Niners are going to be favored. It's in Seattle though, so I don't quite think you can get it to 3. So let's say 2.5. Niners 2 minus 2.5.
Okay, I'm going to pop it on the screen right now because I guess Niners minus 2 myself. So we are very close there. I agree with what you said. The Niners are the better team. Like McCaffrey, I assume, is going to play. If he's out, then maybe make Seattle a short favorite. But we assume McCaffrey's going to be back. The Niners should be better this year, although they did lose some players, but they were so banged up last year. They didn't have anyone. And Seattle lost, it's going to be Sam Darnold and not Geno Smith. It's not Pete Carroll anymore. It's Mike McDonald. And it's not it's not DK Metcalf anymore, or DK Metcalf plus Jackson Smith-Njigba plus Lockett. It's just Jackson Smith-Njigba. So, like, the team is definitely worse than it was. So, but yeah, I don't quite see this at 3 either. So I think 2 is pretty fair. All right, so I'm up next with Titans at Broncos. I think this kind of like reminds me of Broncos at Seattle last year in Week 1. But the same spread was Seattle minus 6. I think it kind of makes sense for Denver to be like minus 6 here, not quite 7. But I think Denver's significantly better than Tennessee, and Tennessee is going to have a new quarterback. So I don't know. Rookie quarterbacks in Week 1 are just kind of shaky. So I have Broncos minus 6. What do you have, Titans and Broncos?
That feels like a lot. It feels like a lot of points. But you're right. Yeah, rookie quarterbacks. I'm gonna say minus. I think I'll say minus 5.5.
Okay.
Broncos minus 5.5.
Okay, so we're close then. All right, so we have some comments here. Is Brady the quarterback? Maybe he should come back. Niners minus 2.5 to John Sanders, so we're close there. Oilers says Titans 31, Broncos 17, Week 1. That would be quite the upset. Honestly, I think Broncos might be my survivor pick. We'll have to maybe break that down too at some point. Kim McNeil says that the Niners defense line is a disaster now. Well, I mean, they still have Nick Bosa, so it can't be like a complete disaster. But the Niners defensive line, they drafted Michael Williams at number 11 overall. Jordan Elliott's fine. Alfred Collins was picked in the 2nd round. So they have a bunch of rookies. I don't know. It depends how the rookies play. I do like Michael Williams. I thought Collins was a nice pick in the 2nd round. So we'll see. But again, like, they still have Bosa. They still have Vitor Gross Matos for depth. It's not great. It's not nearly as good as it once was. It's disappointing that they had a chance to sign Joey Bosa. They didn't. Like, the Bosa brothers together would have been cool. Sue says 49ers blow a 2-score lead and don't cover, just like ask Evan. Well, if it's minus 2 and they only win by 1, that would be kind of fitting based on what happened last year. John Sanders says Broncos minus 7. Matthias says Broncos minus 5.5. So we're in the same area. All right, so your guess is next for Lions at Packers. Good game finally.
Lions at Packers. Yeah, that'll be a good game. It's a divisional game in Green Bay. I think the Lions are better. Losing Ben Johnson is going to be obviously be substantial, but still don't trust Jordan Love. I don't know what Vegas thinks of Jordan Love though. I can't remember. Were they anyway? We can talk about that another time. Let's say Lions. I would say Lions minus 1.5, maybe.
Nice. I can type in right now. I have my hands up. I said Lions minus 1.5 as well.
Wow, look at us.
We're on the same page there. I think the Lions would be favored on the road at Green Bay. I'm not a fan of the Packers. I think they're a good team, but not a great team. And the Lions lost both coordinators, not just Ben Johnson, but also Aaron Glenn. Like, I think that's going to be too tough for them to recover from. We saw what the Eagles did in 2023. They still made the playoffs, but they were very sluggish and shaky down the stretch. I think the same thing could happen to the Lions. Just like, they'll win games. They'll probably make the playoffs, but like, they'll probably lose in the 1st round or something. Plus, like, I don't trust Jared Goff in the playoffs. John says Lions minus 1.5, so we're all on the same page there. Pick'em says Slew, so he's more toward Green Bay, and then Vegas loves Love. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. The Packers are. Matt LaFleur said this before. Like he has done very well in Week 1 for the most part, unless he's playing like a team that's better than his. But like usually, like when he's matched up against like a similar team or worse, like he usually does very well. Like they usually win and like cover comfortably. Like I remember like the Packers at the Bears, like they smoked Chicago, and they've had like some similar results. Earthquake in Green Bay, both teams tragically lost, says a Vikings fan. John says 30 teams are better than 32 anyways. Yeah. All right. So I am up next for Texans at Rams. So we have 3 games left. Texans at Rams. I'm going to say, like, the Rams don't have a great home field advantage, and the Texans, I think, get a lot of respect because of C.J. Stroud still, even though he struggled last year. I'm going to say Rams minus 2.5. And I think I would be on the Rams because, Sean McVay is so great in Week 1. What do you think about this line?
I was going to think, I mean, the Rams looked great in a playoff game where they barely lost to the Eagles, and they were the only real competition. They had several good defensive stars that take a step forward. The Texans, who knows what's going on with their injury situations. I think the Rams are a clear better team, and I would imagine Vegas would agree. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would say Rams like minus 4.5 here.
Okay. All right. Well, we're way off.
And that's without a good home field advantage.
Yeah, we're way off there. I mean, they both went to the second round of the playoffs, and the Texans, they hung tight with the Chiefs. There were some shady calls in Kansas City's favor. Surprise, surprise. But like it was a close game, and in round 1 they smoked the Chargers. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe it should be like minus 3 or something, minus 3.5. John says minus 3, and Matthias says minus 2.5. So I'm very curious to see what the spread is. That's gonna be fun to reveal here at the end of the show. Okay, so we have the Sunday night game and the Monday night game. You go first on the Sunday night game. It is definitely the best game of the week. Ravens at the Bills. Rematch of the second round of the playoffs last year, and battle of the 2 MVP candidates, where everyone thought Lamar should have won, but Josh Allen did. So, what do you think? Ravens at Bills Sunday Night Football is.
Yeah, I think the Bills are slightly worse than they were last year, and I think the Ravens are maybe similar or maybe slightly better with some of the offseason moves they've made. So I think it's a pick 'em. I mean, I think the Ravens might be a slightly better team going into the year. And so my guesstimate is it will be a pick 'em. Maybe they wouldn't make the Ravens a favorite on the road in Buffalo. So I was going to say Ravens. I was going to say Ravens minus 1, but Vegas wouldn't do that. And so maybe it's a pick 'em.
So John Sanders, 411 super chat. Thank you so much, John. He says,
John, the man.
Appreciate John. Thank you so much. He says Bills minus 1.5. That is close to what I guess I said. Bills minus 2. I think that's kind of what it was in the plus session. Maybe it was minus 1.5. I don't know. I think it might be. I think it's gonna be 1.5, or 2. Maybe it could be pick 'em too, but I think the Bills will be a slight favorite at home. I mean, these 3 teams are so good: Chiefs, Bills, and Ravens in the AFC. And then, like I said, huge drop off after that. But yeah, John says Bills minus 1.5, and so does Matthiasen. So again, that'll be an interesting one to look at as well. Okay, so we move on. John says Ravens are minus 1.5. Okay, interesting. I don't know why I thought the Bills were favored. So maybe that would affect my guess there. I already guessed, but
that game was in Baltimore, right?
No, it was in Buffalo.
Oh, the Ravens are favored in Buffalo. Okay, that's where I don't remember that. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was. And the Bills won by 2. Which I was on the Bills in that game. The Bills had a nice lead, and then looked like they were going to blow the lead, and of course Mark Andrews dropped that 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
And the Bills had a questionable decision where they settled for the field goal instead of the touchdown, or trying to go for the touchdown toward the end, like on 4th down. So. Yeah, I don't know. That'll be a great game. I can't wait to watch it. But then again, I will watch any football. John says no, they were underdogs at home, and the white Josh Allen took it personally. Yes, that was the key. All right, so I go first for the Monday night game. It is Vikings at the Bears. I think the Vikings. I think would be favorite. I don't think people understand how good the Vikings are, and that would play into the spread here. Now the Bears get a lot of respect too because of what they did in the offseason. They added all three offensive linemen in the interior, and they hired Ben Johnson, and they drafted Colson Loveland. Like I think that people are going to think that that the Bears are better than most people than they really are. So I think all that plays into the spread. I do think Minnesota's still going to be favored though. Because they were 14-3 last year. So I would say my guess is Minnesota -1.5. That's what I think it's going to be. And if that's the case, I would love Minnesota. What do you think the spread is?
Yeah, this is going to be a Vegas moneymaker right here. My guesstimate is that people are going to grossly overrate the Bears. Vegas wants to get people on Chicago, and my guess is that the Vikings win this game in JJ's coming out party. I'm going to say Vikings -1, and I would be all over the Vikings 4-unit bet if I were a gambling man, which I am not.
Of course not. You are not a gambling man. Exactly. John says I'm all over the Bears with the Pope being from there. Well, I don't know what you think about that. that certainly throws a wrench into it. Matthias says Vikings -4, which I think if you were like guessing the lines are like what it should be, then I could see that. But the books are not going to make it Vikings -4. John says Vikings -3 though. So I think it is time to reveal what the lines are. I'm excited. Are you ready, Kenny?
Ready.
All right, let's go. This is not the right page, unfortunately. Why is this on soccer? What is going on here? This is because
you're a degenerate. That's why.
I can't bet soccer. Actually, Tom texted me the other day. He's like, yeah, I have some great soccer players. I'm like, I don't want this. I have my limits, man. I just can't do it. So, all right, games here. All right, so we have this on the screen here. Chiefs are -2.5. We got it. We got a preview from that from one of the commenters, Chase.
I don't remember what I said. What did I say? -4?
Yeah, on the screen here. Yeah, you said Chiefs -4.5. I said Chiefs -5.5. So you take this one. You were up 1-0, even though we were both way off.
Wow, -2.5. That feels like disrespectful to perennial Super Bowl contender here over the last couple seasons. I mean,
yeah.
I guess they're just loving. Are they just giving this? Is this a hardball effect?
Hardball effect?
Hardball.
I thought you said hardball effect. I'm like, wow, what the hardball? Hardball effect. I think it might be. He does get a lot of respect, but I mean, I know professional bettors love Andy Reid. Like they will like just blindly bet his over win totals. That's Andy's gonna be on the show tomorrow. Like he always tells me, he's like, bet Chiefs over. Like they always get there. I don't know. This is bizarre. I'll have to ask Andy about this tomorrow. Like why this line's so low? And like maybe he'll tell us. Like actually this is what it should be. But I don't know. I'm shocked by it.
Very surprised.
Yeah. All right. You were up 1-0. The next one is Redskins -7. So we're going out of order here.
Oh, wow.
You guessed Redskins -8. I guess Redskins -6.5. I beat you by half a point here. So we are tied at 1.
Right. I'm keeping track. I got my little trusty pen.
I'm keeping track of my computer, so we won't have any discrepancies.
7 points, man. It's a lot of points for game one. Week one. It feels like a lot to me.
It does feel like a lot. I love the Redskins this year. I bet them to win the Super Bowl. I bet like 3.5 units on them to win the Super Bowl. I don't like them here though. Like it's week one. A lot of weird stuff happens week one, as you said. It's a divisional matchup. And as we said before, they play on Thursday night, right after this game against the Packers. So I don't know if they're going to be focused for this game. It could be like the Bengals last year, where it's just like a no-show. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to be betting on the Redskins. That said, I don't know if I want to bet on the Giants either. They're a garbage team, and
No.
plus, as you say, you'll lose your soul.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. If you tie yourself to them in any way, your soul is impeded. You don't want
exactly.
that. Don't do that to yourself.
Exactly. All right. Next one is Jaguars -2.5, although -115. So it's kind of shaded toward that. I believe you got this. You said you guessed it correctly on the dot. Jaguars -2.5. I said Jaguars -3.5. So you
I
are
said
up by
Jaguars
one.
might join us 2.5. I don't even remember what I said. That's so funny. That's great. I'm brilliant.
There you go. Yeah, you got it right on the money. I'm gonna count exact predictions as well.
Look at that.
So Kenny, you have one. I have 0 exact predictions. So you're up 2-1. As I said, Walt is Washington A team and also is New York an F team. I think I think Washington's an A team. Now is New York? I think the Giants are a D. I don't think they're as bad as like the Saints or the Browns. Like, they have a good pass rush. Like they have Malik Neighbors. I like Tyron Tracy. They have Andrew Thomas. Like they have some decent players. Like, but they're not above a D. So I think I'm pretty sure they're a D. Actually, I can just check for you right now because I'm gonna have my power rankings updated soon. Which I already did. I just have to post them. So, actually, you know what? I did put them in Group F. I did. The 4 teams I have in Group F are Browns, Saints, Giants, and Titans at the moment.
I think the Giants are better than the other 3 teams.
You think so?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a gap between them and the rest. I don't know what your D crew is, but
my D crew is sounds kind of dirty. Cowboys, Colts, Seahawks, Panthers, Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots.
Oh wow! I think the Giants are better than at least 1 or 2 of the teams in there. Yeah, I think the Giants belong a little. They're a little bit better.
Okay.
I can't believe defending the Giants. Oh, I feel gross. Oh, my soul! I feel my soul.
Yeah, you know what? Listen to you. I think I might move them up a little bit. I think you're right. Like they're definitely better than some of those teams. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just so down.
Or at least equal to those teams.
I'm so down on Russell Wilson. I think that's part of it.
I can't imagine. I think it'll be. I mean, I would imagine they're going to go with the rookie. At some point.
Yeah, at some point. I don't know if it's gonna be week 1, but look, if they go with him in week 1, then that means he's doing very well in training camp. So that, it could be a good thing. A lot of bad teams play well in week 1. Look, Patriots won last year. John says always get confused with how Vegas sets lines. So they set it so there's equal money on both sides. So they just collect the vig, or do they bait people with incorrect public sentiment? Both. I mean, they want the vig for sure in most games. But some games they will take a stance on it, and they will kind of try to trick the public, either trick the public or trick the sharps into betting a side. So yeah, it's generally like it really depends what the situation is. So anyway, what's our next game here? It is Steelers at the Jets. The Steelers are -3. And you guessed, I said Steelers -2.5. You said Steelers -3.5. So we split the difference. I actually said when we were talking, I think we're going to split the difference. So we split the difference here. So neither of us gets a point here. So,
and now that I think about it, the Steelers don't deserve to be more than a 3-point favorite. Like that was a dumb decision on my part. Now that I think about it, they don't deserve that.
Yeah, well, the Jets are bad, So
that's true.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So we go to the next game, and that is Raiders at the Patriots. The Patriots are -2.5, but there's a lot of big on the -2.5.
Yeah, it's 122. What's that all about? Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty close to 3. So I don't know how you want to score it, but the line here is let me get it. So what do we say? I said Patriots -1. You said pick 'em. So I would get this no matter what.
Yeah.
Whether it's 2.5 or 3. So we were tied at 2.
A lot of respect for the Patriots here.
Yeah, bizarre. I think very, very strange. As we see, Minnesota Timberwolves win by 11. I had the +10 with the Warriors, of course. Warriors missed like a million free throws at the end. I was just kind of watching that, with one eye, but yeah, it's just just really rough beats in the playoffs. Anyway, so we're tied at 2. The next game is Cardinals at the Saints. The Cardinals are -4.5. I had -2.5. You -3. We were both well short. But you win this one. You were up 3-2. That is 4.5. Wow.
I thought Vegas was going to be, giving the Saints a little more respect, but I guess Vegas is realizing what you've said and what they maybe the public's going to realize the Saints are bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
I also think there's a weird sentiment where, like, I think there's a lot of people who think Derek Carr is a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird. Like, people and with the retirement, like, there's a lot of people on social media that seem to think he was good and now they're going to suck because he's gone. And I'm kind of like, no, they were going to suck with him because he sucks.
Right. He does suck, yeah.
Like what? Like, it just seems like a lot of people think, oh, this team was going to be like a mediocre team, maybe even contend for playoffs. And now with Derek Carr out, they're going to be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to be terrible either way. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Hey, look, he sometimes posts great stats. He has those long touchdowns to MVS at the midpoint last season. Like, he'll have some really good games, and then he'll have a lot of stinkers. And usually he's awful in the red zone. That's like, I've noticed that the Saints, like, they'll post like 450 yards of offense, but they'll have like 18 points. So they kick 6 field goals. They just don't score in the red zone. I don't know. I don't like the team, but then again, like +4.5 against the Cardinals. The Cardinals aren't good. That's a lot. That is a lot. But then this is gonna be new
in
coach,
New Orleans
new quarterback
in week 1.
Yeah, it's gonna be new coach, new quarterback too, which I love the fade in week 1, but it's gonna be tough to bet Arizona -4.5. Go Cards. Matthias says. Sue says, can't wait to find out who the Sharps love in 2025 after Jets 2024, Broncos 2023. Yeah, it seems like the Sharps fall in love with like a bad team and they keep betting them every year. It is bizarre. John says Carr's better than flipping Rattler. Yes. I will say though that like Spencer Rattler didn't get a fair shake last year. He had Chris Olave for half a game.
Right.
And then Olave got hurt. He never had Rashid Shaheed. He had offensive line was a disaster. The coaching staff was a disaster. So like Rattler is talented. Like he was once considered a first round prospect, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. It could be Tyler Shuck too. Who knows?
Could be Tanner McKee.
Tanner McKee, the Irish assassin, of course. All right. So
Kellen Moore was in Philly. Loves him. You never know. Maybe they make a move. Who knows?
I would if I were him. I like McKee. Anyway, we have Bengals at Browns. Bengals are -5.5. I said 6.5. You said 5, so you beat me by half a point here.
Let's go.
Man, I was really hoping it'd be 6.5 or 7 to bet the Browns. Maybe this is like Vegas being like, hey, public, bet Bengals here. It's only 5.5. It's not even 6, 5.5. Bet the Bengals. That's what it looks like.
Divisional game in Cleveland. Burrow's got a bad history there.
Yep.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to touch the game.
Worst defense in the NFL. So
it's just gross. Like if it was any other team other than the Browns, I'd be rethinking it. But I wouldn't want to listen. If anyone putting money in the Browns this year, you really hate your money. That's about
I'm going to be hitting my money week 1 probably. Look, the Patriots won at Cincinnati last year. Like weird stuff happens week 1 all the time. Like
that's true.
I don't know. And the Browns have their number, like you said. So, all right. So the next game, Tampa, Atlanta. No, it's Miami, Indianapolis. Indianapolis is -1.5.
Wow.
I said -2. You said Miami -1.5. So I take this. I'm now trailing 4-3. So Indianapolis favored.
I guess I'm surprised. And there's no vig on that, right? -102.
Yeah.
It feels like that line's telling me something. That feels like Vegas wants you to take the Colts.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Miami really stinks. So yeah.
That is a fishy line. No pun intended. I mean, Dolphin's not a fish, but close enough.
Yeah, their nickname's the Fish, and they're not a fish. It's strange. John says Burrow, I think, might be the better quarterback. I think so. Cam McNeil says the Minnesota defense was much better in Florida's second year. Any chance Seattle defense will be much improved? I think Seattle's defense could be better. But then again, on the offense, you have Sam Darnold and no DK Metcalf. And an offensive line that's not that good. I did like the Gray Zabel pick, but so it says 60 minutes of hockey, no score in Vegas. How's it possible? Is it like soccer suddenly? Like there's more scoring in hockey than.
By the way, you mentioned the rookie Zabel got drafted. I briefly dated his aunt.
Wow, I thought Zach Wilson was the
20 years ago. 20 years ago, she's all right. She's like in her early 40s.
That's true. Like I was thinking, like for some reason, we were still young, but we're old. So yeah,
we're old.
That is true. Yeah.
So I dated this girl in my 20s, for a bit, and her older brother is like several years older. Is the dad of this guy who just got drafted.
Oh wow, that's pretty.
I met when he was like 6 years old many years ago.
Did you think, wow, this guy's gonna be first round pick?
No, I thought he's some annoying 6-year-old kid. Never thought about it again. And then I'm friends with some of her family members still on social media. She unfriended me and blocked me because I don't know, whatever. But
wait, I want to hear the story. Maybe another time.
I know that we broke up, and she we were Facebook friends for a while, and then I think when I got married, she I guess they wanted to see me and my wife and kids. I don't know.
Jealous, huh?
But I'm still Facebook friends with like one of her brothers and one of her cousins, and I saw them posting like, oh, like so and so you got drafted NFL, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Anyway.
That's so funny. Yeah, that is pretty crazy. Like you never, obviously he's like 6, you never know what he's gonna be, but that's insane. Matthias says Hill might go off this game since that media post Indy did. What was that media post? I didn't see it. You have to let us know. Kimiko says, totally agree with that. Bad offense, good defense could lead to unders. Yeah, it's true. All right, so next game has to be Tampa Atlanta, right? Yeah, okay. Tampa is -1.5. Okay, I think I got this one wrong. I said Atlanta -1. You said Tampa -1. So you got this. You're up by half a point. But you got this. You're up 5-3.
Let's go.
Yeah, look, I mean Tampa's favored in Atlanta. Atlanta's, I think, is a better team. So I like Atlanta here. Wish we were getting a +3, for a key number, but I don't know. You take what you can get, I guess. All right, next game is
only -105 there too in FanDuel.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Titans and Broncos. Broncos are -7, so we were both short here. Wow. I said Broncos -6. You said Broncos -5.5. So yeah, I get this one. I move to I'm losing 5-4, but yeah, Broncos getting the full touchdown. How about that?
I mean, it's a key number. And that feels like a lot of points.
Yeah, and -115 too. We'll pay a little bit extra for the -7.
That feels like that's a very stinky line. I don't like that at all.
Stinky line.
That's a lot. It's stinky.
It is a lot. But I think Denver is pretty underrated. I'm not even a fan of Bo Nix. I just think that their roster is really good. Their defense is awesome, and the defense against Cam Ward in his first game. I would obviously just have to look ahead to what they're playing in week 2. Like I know the Chiefs play the Eagles. If they play like the Ravens or the Bills or something, then like maybe look ahead. But if it's if there's like a non-factor team in week 2, I don't know. I have to. So in week 2, the Broncos play at Indianapolis. Oh no, it's the Battle of the Horses. Tom lost so much money in the Battle of the Horses last year. We had this running joke where Tom stopped betting because he lost. Because remember, Jonathan Taylor dropped the ball, and they would have gone up 20-7, and they ended up blowing it. I want to get a cowboy hat and be like, things haven't been the same around here since Battle of the Horses. And we have Battle of the Horses in week 2. That's pretty rough for Tom. Hopefully there's no PTSD there. All right, so Niners and Seahawks. Niners are -1.5.
Wow, that's short.
I said 2. You said 2.5. So we are tied at 5. Very, very tight competition here.
Wow, that is man. I said 2.5. Is that what I said?
Yeah. Oh no, you said what is it? I said 2. You said -2.5. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought. 2.5. Yeah. 1.5 feels really light. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. -15 Broncos too. Yeah. Titans are awful. Yeah. But they'll be better than they were last year, I think. Sue says, don't think Sean Payton very good week 1 games. That's a good point too. I just forget these things. Sue's always great with reminding me. Yeah, Sean Payton week 1 or week 2 usually pretty bad, so maybe Tennessee's worth a look. Matthias says Indy schedule release video had Coast Guard arresting a dolphin with a Hill jersey on. Oh my god, I have to watch this. Wow, that's some shade there. Brandon says Texans going 13-4. We'll see. I mean, Stroud could bounce back, or he could continue to regress. We'll see. I don't trust the offensive line though. All right, so
the offensive weapons. I mean, not enough weapons. The injuries.
Yeah. I mean, Nico's there. Christian Kirk, maybe he rebounds. They need Jaden Higgins to have a good rookie year. Dalton Schultz is still there, even though he did nothing last year. Maybe he bounces back too. I don't know. Joe Mixon's the least good, but
he's a year older. Yeah,
and the blocking's bad. So
the offensive line and the potential. I can see that offense totally falling apart.
Yeah. So, I can see that too. All right, next game. Lions at the Packers. Lions are -1.5. I think we had the same guess. Yeah, we both said -1.5, and it's -1.5.
Nailed it.
Look at that. So you are 2 correct predictions. I am 1 correct prediction. So I guess that'll be the tiebreaker if we tie. All right, so the next game is, I believe this is the final 4:00 game. Texans at the Rams. The Rams are -2.5. I think I said 2.5 if I remember correctly.
I think I said 4.5, right?
You said 4.5. I said 2.5. Yeah, so I get this one on the nose. So
Under.
I'm 6-5.
I know the Rams don't have a strong home field advantage, but wow.
Yeah.
The Texans are getting a lot of respect here. I'm very surprised. Very surprised.
People like the Texans. They remember Stroud's rookie year. Nico Collins is awesome. Mixon had a great year. They Will Anderson, great defense. Good defense.
If I were a betting man, which I'm not, I would be all over the Rams in this game.
Yeah, Sean McVay week 1.
All over the Rams.
Sean McVay week 1, absolutely, I agree, totally. I am a betting man, fortunately, so I will be betting it.
I'd be pounding the Rams like I pound that crumble cookie tonight. I mean, just
so good. I haven't had crumble cookie in a long time. I miss that. My wife used to get them like every week because she used to work close to there, but now she does not. So I miss those. Ever since we had kids, she had to stop working.
You let your wife work? What?
Yeah, I let her out of the house sometimes.
Next you're gonna be telling me she's voting. I mean, ugh.
Well, I get in trouble for saying women. I didn't say women shouldn't vote.
Begging you on here, obviously.
I know. Please do. I said I didn't say women shouldn't vote, which people are like attributed that to me. Awful Announcing said like they wrote an article about me saying Walter Football says women shouldn't vote.
Who wrote the article?
Awful Announcing. You never heard of Awful Announcing?
No.
They like a huge following on Twitter. They have like 500,000 followers. It's like a big website. They said that I said women shouldn't vote, and I didn't say that. I said women would be better off not voting, which is totally different. And as a libertarian, it would be against my philosophy to say that women shouldn't vote. I just think that I think most people would be better off not voting because like a lot of people don't know anything that they're voting on. Like they just vote down ballot or they vote on emotion, and I think that's wrong. Like I think you should be informed. Like whenever I vote in like the like stupid local stuff, I do research on every guy, like every person running, and like I will vote just based on my research. Like I'll vote. I'll vote for some Democrats. Like in one of the recent like local ones, I voted for 2 Republicans, 2 Libertarians, and 1 Democrat. Like just because I thought the Republican running against the Democrat was like a sleazeball. So I just do the research on it. Like most people don't do research.
I know. I just vote for Republican every time. I do no research whatsoever. I'm a sleazebag voter. It's all right. I own it.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. It's fine. But I don't know. Like, whatever. This is different conversation. I don't want to get you in trouble. I can't get canceled, but you can. So I don't. I'll say this for when you're not on. I'll go on a rant, of course, as I always do. John says, "Can they bake their vote?" Okay, yeah. Maybe if they make a delicious cake or a cookie. Yes. So he says, "I think they claim you say women shouldn't be allowed to vote." Yeah, they said that. Yeah, they said that. I'm like, I didn't say that at all. I'm like a super libertarian guy. I think like adults should be able to do whatever they want to do, as long as they're not hurting anyone.
I found their article. Yeah, it says popular NFL draft website claims women shouldn't vote.
I didn't say that. It said they'd be better off not voting. It's so different. It's way different. I should sue them for defamation.
Here's my fantasy rankings. I hate women and all immigrants. But they're basically paraphrasing you, saying, "Here's my fantasy rankings. By the way, I hate all women and immigrants." Like what?
So in that tweet, I said I love women, but I think they'd be better off not voting. I actually like preface that.
Women are great, but probably would be better off not voting.
Yeah.
And my family rated the U.S., so I certainly don't hate all immigrants.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that tweet. I think it's perfect. I think it's absolutely perfect.
So good. I love it.
But at least they said I was a popular draft website. That's nice.
Yeah, look at you.
Oh man, that's again. I don't want to get you in trouble, but like whenever I'm on solo, I'm like, yeah, I'll talk about anything. I can't get canceled. I fund my own website. Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to fire me? Brandon says I think they should all vote, but the computer shouldn't record them. Fair enough. I would get rid of the computer anyway. Just hand count everything. Anyway, Sunday Night Football. Bills, Ravens. John Sanders.
Wait a minute. This last line of the article is so good. I'm sorry.
What is it?
The last line of the article. The website has been a staple in the NFL draft community for many years, but many were taken aback by the extreme nature of the post, which is saying something considering its previous social media behavior.
Wow. I didn't know I had this stigma attached to my social media behavior.
Wow. This is Walt, you're famous. They're like, this was a bad. This is a bad take from Walt, but that's saying a lot based on his previous bad takes.
What other bad takes I have? I think I had all great takes. I take offense to that.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's feminist. I don't know. They kind of took what I said out of context completely. In fact, they put what I said there, and they said they shouldn't vote. I didn't say that. I don't know. I should talk to my lawyer and see if I can sue them for defamation, but I don't want to. I don't feel like going to a lawsuit, so it just feels like such a cumbersome process. You know, just like I don't know. I'm out of lethargy. I don't know if I'll have to do it, but. At least send them. I should have them send a cease and desist that they should correct it, because I never said women shouldn't vote. That's ridiculous. I said they'd be better off not voting. But, which is and then I also in a follow to it, I said a lot of men shouldn't vote either. I think it should be like people who are paying attention to what's going on in the news and stuff.
AKA not me.
No, you pay attention. You definitely know what's going on.
Oh, okay, that's true.
Yeah. Don't sell yourself short.
Okay, we're back to the line. We're way off target. I didn't do that last line. I could. It's so good.
I know, that's great. I didn't actually read the article. I saw the headline. I didn't actually read it. I was like, this is stupid. Like, this is a crap site anyway. Like, no one reads this. I know they have a big following, but like, it's all like cat ladies who read this stuff, and the beta male simps who love the cat ladies. Anyway, Bills are -1.5, which credit to John Sanders for nailing this one. He said -1.5. As far as our predictions,
I said pick 'em, right?
You said pick 'em. I said Bills -2. So I get this one, and I actually clinched the victory because I'm up 7-5.
Oh man.
I'm 7-5. Very close though. And we both had 2 exact picks correct. But yeah, Bills. So it flipped. Ravens were -1.5 last year in playoffs, as John said. The sports books learned their lessons and made the Bills -1.5.
Surprised by them.
Yeah. Are you surprised? Really? This is so close.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Vikings at Bears. Let's see if Matthias is correct. This is -4. No, it's Vikings -1.5. What'd we say? I said -1.5 on the dot. You said -1. So we're super close. So I get 3 exact picks correct. I win the week 8-5.
What did I say? Vikings -1?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, you said -1. I said -1.5. Yeah. It makes sense. Makes sense to me. Bears getting a lot of respect. I think the Vikings should be at least 3. We were talking about maybe 4. So Vikings look like a good play to me. I really love them this year.
Again, if I were a betting man, which I'm not, I'd be all over the Vikings here. I'd be pounding them like peanut M&Ms on a road trip.
Nice. I like the classic M&Ms better than the peanut M&Ms.
On a road trip, you got to go peanuts, bro.
Why road trips? 30 units, man. That's the by the way. Why peanut? Before we head out, why peanuts on a road trip?
Well, because when you're driving, like you need like more like muscle, the classic is just so you chew them, you one bite, they melt. The peanuts like a little more. It's a little more like action. You need the. That's why sunflower seeds are so helpful when you're driving. Like a lot of action kind of keeps you awake, keeps you focused.
That's true. I used to just down a bottle of Pepsi, which I guess is bad because then you have to go to the bathroom. But whenever I made trips from Philly to Penn State, I used to do that all the time because I went to Penn State. It was depending on what time of day it is, like in the afternoon, it's like 3.5 hour drive. If you're like, I used to love leaving at midnight and just going there, like hitting no traffic. I'd get there in 2 hours and 45 minutes, just like speeding down the road. I mean, I used to like do that all the time for those road trips. I don't take any road trips now though. I don't even leave my house except to take my son to swim lessons. Like that's the only time. I actually got into my car today to take my son to swim lessons. I'm like, I haven't driven this car in a long time, have I? It's been a while.
By the way, I'm looking at the screen here, and it says Eagles plus 1.5. What is?
I think that's
I'm confused. What is that?
Week 2, Kansas City.
Oh, okay. I was very confused. I'm like, I thought the Eagles were plus 7.
Yeah, or mine. Okay. Yeah, my son. Yeah, the Eagles at Chiefs. What do you think about this game before we sign off? Last thing we'll talk about. Week 2, Eagles at Chiefs, Super Bowl revenge for the Chiefs. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's in Kansas City. I think that's about. I think minus 1.5 is right.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, what do you think the Kansas City gets revenge? Or do you think the Eagles stomp all over them again?
No. I think it'll be a close game. I don't know who'd win. Obviously, we'll have to see how training camp progresses, what happens in week 1. I could say I think it'd be a close, moderately high, moderately scoring game. I think the Chiefs could win it. Yeah, easily. Maybe not easily, but I think they can prevail. I don't think that the Eagles go in and like smoke them like they did in the Super Bowl. Like that, just everything went right in that game for the Eagles, and Andy Reid's too good of a coach to let that happen again.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, the Andy Reid revenge factor, Mahomes revenge factor, but at the same time, Eagles defensive line is still great, and the Chiefs offensive line is still shaky. So I don't know. I would pick the Eagles to win right now. Maybe I'll think about it and have a different opinion, but right now it's the Eagles. The Eagles,
I would. If the Eagles are getting 1.5, I think I'd be taking the Eagles. Now the Vig's minus 120. I don't love that, but
yeah,
I got a value there. And so maybe if someone shopped around, if someone was a bettor, unlike me, they could maybe shop. I bet you could shop around and get a plus 1.5 or minus 115 somewhere is my guess. That's probably a better value there. I think that could be. I could easily see that game being 24-20. Either way, maybe the Eagles, but I think the Eagles would be the right side to bet on it. If they're getting points, even in Kansas City.
Yeah, even if they're a short favorite, I think I would like them as well. Anything under -3, which is kind of funny. I mean, the Chiefs are favored at home, but they were favored on the neutral site against the Eagles, and now like if this was a neutral site, the Eagles would probably be -1 or something. So. It's kind of funny how that works out. Sue says, what is the official candy of the Trenton Thunder? You should know based on the discarded wrappers in their parking lot. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't have to go there anymore because Rainmakers is no longer a thing. But here's the thing, Sue. I used to go there every week, but I went at like 2 a.m. and so it was dark and I couldn't see anything. So if it was during the daytime, I could probably tell you, but I can't. It was so dark I couldn't tell you. So I maybe the next time I go there in the day, I'll let you know. I just can't answer that right now. Bagger says in Kansas City, but Chiefs have to fly back from Brazil and have one fewer day of preparation since the Eagles will have played on Thursday. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Eagles will have that one day edge. That's a good point. And I was trying to think like what happened last year. The Eagles played in Brazil last year, and so did the Packers. Eagles in week 2, they played a Monday night against Atlanta, so they had more time to recover, but they still they did not cover against Atlanta, although AJ Brown was out. The Packers, on the other hand, they played against the Colts and they smoked the Colts. So, it worked out for them. It's not, I don't know. It's not like it's not that far of a trip, right? Like, I mean, it's the same hemisphere. So, or the Western hemisphere. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that bad for them. Miguel says Dallas plays on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yeah, we're going to have, I think Kansas City at Dallas, by the way, on Thanksgiving. I think Kansas City destroys them.
That'll be great to watch.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be like 34-10. Like maybe not 34-10. It'll be like 38-24 or something.
And I've been planning. Melanie and I, my wife and I, are gonna go to Philadelphia for Thanksgiving.
Nice.
I have not been to Philly for Thanksgiving in like 12 years. So we're gonna go to Philly for Thanksgiving, and Black Friday, Eagles host the Bears. So we'll drop the Rugrats off with the grandparents, and then we're gonna go to the Black Friday game, I think.
That's awesome. It'll be a lot of fun. Should be a blowout of Bears.
And then of course in September the Eagles make their annual trip to Tampa. It's weird. They've played in Tampa like 5 of the last 6 years. Such a strange thing. Like it's such a weird trend. But anyway, or more than that. I think 6 out of 7, something like that. Anyway, in Tampa, it's just sort of the way the schedule is broken. Anyway, it's very strange. But anyway, I'll go to that game in September as well. So I'll probably go to 2 games next year. I try to go to at least 1 every year.
I haven't been to a football game in a long time. I just can't because I cover every team, but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna retire anytime soon, but in the distant future, maybe I'll go to a game after I retire. We almost went to the Super Bowl, by the way. We didn't pay for the stupid surcharges, which were like $1,000+, which I regret. I think we should have swallowed.
Yeah,
it.
Put it on the credit card and live with it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we should probably head out. I know you have an early work thing tomorrow, so guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it and commenting. Thanks especially to John Sanders for the 411 super chat. Thank you,
man, John.
Kenny, last thing here, the CapSpeak.com. You have a bunch of new articles on the site. Maybe we'll go over them next week because I know you have to get up early. But you have this banger of an article about Derek Carr. You were telling me about it because I haven't read it yet. But yeah, I can't wait to read this. So you want to like briefly talk about it and then let's head out.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten 5 articles written in the last 2 weeks. I mean, That is just remarkable. 3 in the last week. Yeah, these are just things, personal research projects that I've been working on, things I've been kind of toying around. So I wrote 2 articles about options that kind of explain how option bonuses work. Basically, it's kind of the most it's what gives teams the most financial flexibility. If you want to know how teams manipulate the cap, the option bonus is like become kind of the king of manipulating the cap. And then kind of explain the other article I wrote was explaining why option clauses have kind of gone away in the NFL. But I explained the history of option clauses, and then I end the article with 2 great examples, one about Terrell Owens and the other about DeAndre Hopkins. They are fantastic, entertaining reads. Highly encourage that to everyone. And then the article you mentioned, the most recent article I wrote was about Derek Carr. Derek Carr retiring. I've seen several people online say, "Oh, this was altruistic." He could have because he could have just opted for surgery. He would have gone on IR. He would have collected $40 million on IR this year. But instead, he's retiring. He got $10 million roster bonus in March, and he is now going to forgo $30 million. But it's not because, listen, does anyone walk away from $30 million willingly? No. No. He tried to pull a fast one, and the Saints were in essence going to they were going to file a grievance. Multiple league sources have confirmed this. And so basically I can outline how Derek Carr tried to pull a fast one. And so if you're interested in how Derek Carr's retirement is impacting the salary cap, I go in through in detail, explain how the Saints, and in essence, like they committed to give him $150 million over 4 years. Over 2 years, they ended up giving him about 46% of that money. At the end of the day, and they've gotten out of the contract, which at the end of the day, this has kind of worked out really good for the Saints. Like This is like at the end of the article, I basically say the best case scenario would have been if they never signed Derek Carr. The second best scenario is pretty much this.
That's fun. That's so funny.
So it's kind of worked out. So I detail that how it goes on, and I quote one source who basically says I think it's possible that we have not seen the end of Derek Carr. That he'll rehab as a retired player and likely make a comeback in 2026. Obviously, that remains to be seen, but lots of details, interesting stuff there. People should check it out.
Okay, yeah, definitely check it out. That I agree. I don't think his career is done. Well, we'll see. But yeah, check out thecapIsFake.com. Kenny has all those new articles. Yeah, that Carr article sounds really entertaining. Can't wait to read it. All right, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Andy is going to make his triumphant return. The last time he was on was right before the Super Bowl, and he had the Eagles. So he had the Eagles over Chiefs at 100-1 odds. So we'll get to check in on him. And then Saturday, we'll have Tom on. We'll have more week one previews with Tom, I'm sure. And he actually sent me a text tonight talking about the Battle of the Horses. I actually just checked my phone because someone texted me 20 minutes ago. It was Tom. And he said, I'll quote him real fast, but last thing before we head out, he said, it would only be fitting that my pick, that Y2K pick would be Battle of the Horses rematch. So we'll have to see what Tom says about that. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching and commenting. Really appreciate it. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. We'll be back tomorrow. But yeah, otherwise, have a great night, and I will talk to you then.
Walt, don't forget to submit